TikTok is fined by Russia over LGBTQ propaganda. Russia has reportedly fined TikTok for refusing to delete what the government calls LGBTQ propaganda. The fine was issued on October 4th to forbid the promotion of LGBTQ+ content to under 18s. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, was fined at least 3 million rubles, according to Moscow's Tagansky District Court. I didn't know the ruble was worth that much. Following these sources reported by Reuters, the case was based on accusations that the company was promoting non-traditional values, LGBT, feminism, and distorted representation of traditional sexual values. It also fined streaming service Twitch for hosting a video interview with Ukrainian political figure Oleksiy Arestovych, which Moscow said was fake information. Amazon, which owns Twitch, was fined at least 4 million rubles for violating a law that Russia passed in March that prohibited acts of discrediting the armed forces. While neither company has made an explicit statement following the fines, Reuters reported that a TikTok representative was heard insisting that the court proceedings be terminated. The companies could face significantly more fines by Russia in the future if the so-called LGBTQ+ propaganda videos are not removed or restricted. Russia has been using the LGBTQ+ propaganda law to suppress LGBTQ+ activism and media that would otherwise put the queer community in a positive light.
It's hilarious that this country is so invested in taking down an entire community. So if they want to continue to fine people for being themselves, they're going to have to keep trying hard. It's not going to stop. Like LGBTQ folks, we are so resilient. And no matter what happens, no matter how many laws you put up in a country, you cannot stop people from existing. You cannot take us all out.
Well, I think it's funny that, you know, they find TikTok, right? And they want the videos to not go to the youth, but that's what TikTok is, right? Like young people aren't on Facebook, old people are on Facebook. Young people are on
grown people.
Young people are on, like they're on.
Exactly, because you're old.
Yeah,
that's what
John,
he's saying.
right.
So 3 million rubles, right?
What is that worth? What is that worth?
It's $48,919.80.
Is it that much?
Yeah. You thought it was 3 cents.
Yeah, I thought it was.
But it's important to remember, like TikTok Europe is based out of like Denmark. So good luck collecting the fines. It's not like they can go to their Moscow office and collect it. But it's the point that they're trying to make, that we are worth erasing, that they're taking a stand because Putin needs a win. Putin needs a win on some front right now.
That's why we're being attacked.
He is bleeding support in that country, especially among the people in Moscow and St. Petersburg, which are the two primary cities of his base of support. So he needs something, and if he can come out with and do this resolution or make this statement that really has no teeth to it, then this is something that he can put, and they're not talking about the disaster in Ukraine for
it shows desperation though, right?
He's like throwing everything against the wall to see what's because even like it's not just LGBTQ plus propaganda, which is the reason why they got fined. They also got fined for feminism, for promoting feminism.
Well, he used to say that gay people didn't exist in Russia. Remember that?
They had no
gays. He said they don't have
any. No, we don't have any gays. What are you talking about?
But then at the same time, he also didn't treat anybody with HIV. So they've suffered a lot of loss.
I think it's interesting just in terms of happenstance. We do a story on Brazil and Bolsonaro, and then we do a story on Putin. They're really the exact same mold.
Right.
The only thing that needs to be added to the trio of the throuple is Donald Trump. And so you're watching a situation in Russia that is deteriorating so badly. Once upon a time, we thought Russia was just this incredible war machine. Ukraine is proving that that is not true, that they can't feed the army. They're having to draft to get people. Tens of thousands of people are escaping Russia, of age in their 20s, men of going, there's no way I'm joining the Russian army, and what is happening. We are watching crisis thinking on his part. The one thing that I will say that is dangerous about this story, which potentially could be catastrophic, is he is being cycled down and cycled down and cycled down to perhaps what he thought a year ago, much less 5 years ago, of who he was and what Russia was. He is finding out Russia is not that, and that he is not that. And as he's getting blocked and blocked and blocked, we may be facing an enemy, a world enemy, that is so desperate that when you pin the Wolverine into the corner, it has no choice but to just viciously attack, even if it means it's self-sacrifice. This is a nuclear power of an autocratic leader that may make a decision that battlefield nuclear weapons can be used.
Yeah.
Scary.
This is a scary story too.
After Chernobyl, for them to even, every time he mentions nuclear, I'm like, you lived it.
Yeah.
You lived it.
Yeah, and Chernobyl, of course, is in Ukraine. I mean, they're still dealing with the, that's a poor choice of word, but the fallout. from
Literally.
that. The frightening thing is not only that he would drop low-yield nuclear weapons in East Ukraine or anywhere in Ukraine, is that he could launch something to explode in the Netherlands, over The Hague, the International Court of Justice, over NATO, because he's starting, if you notice the rhetoric, he's starting to say more and more, it's not Ukraine we're fighting, now we're fighting NATO. Now the fight is against NATO. So he could literally, it's easily in the realm of thinking, because I'm thinking it, he could drop a bomb on NATO headquarters, which is in Europe. And that's really the nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Luckily, a bomb wouldn't reach, right? We have a lot of anti-war, we have a lot of anti-war weaponry. We would know as soon as, before it left the ground, we would know that it was in the air. There'd be 10 different countries shooting it out of the air. But the fact that he would be desperate enough, that's your point. And I think it's a very serious point, is that these guys, Bolsonaro, the former 45, Putin, they're running out. There's nowhere left on the earth where they can like harbor their hatred, right?
What happens when you corner a cat?
Yeah,
They mess you up.
all over the world, people are rising up and they're not putting up with it.
What cost
Yep.
to you?
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.